Okay.
Okay. My internet's a little finicky, but it should work. I think we're live. So, Allison, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to obviously show up and, of course, take this live. I want to obviously celebrate you and talk a little bit about your success joining the program. Again, a lot of people will definitely benefit from you to kind of get some idea about what obviously the program involves, but at the same time, like what it kind of took for you to see the results that you've been able to achieve in such a short period of time. So yeah, welcome, Allison. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Thank you. Of course, excited to be here. And hopefully my story can help someone else like Alyssa's story helped me. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you work in HR. Talk a little bit about what you do as a job. Talk about, what it sort of entails from a day to day, like both physically and of course, like just the job itself.
yeah, so human resources, the bad guy, right? No one likes Toby on The Office. I used to not like Toby until I was in human resources, and now I feel for the guy. So, but yeah, I mean, we're just trying to make sure basically people are like compliant with the law and the policies, employees, managers. We try to do what's best for everyone involved, but there's a lot of writing up people, hiring, firing, unfortunately. Not my favorite part of the job, but it is what it is. But I
But
spend a lot of,
some stress
yeah,
involved, right?
quite a bit, yeah. Especially when you do employee investigations, employee relations. Sometimes they can take you into the late hours because I work at a manufacturing plant, so the hours can be kind of wonky, or if we come in for training on off hours at like 10 or 11 at night, and then you don't get into bed until late, it can be hard, you know. And then I spend 90% of my day right here at the desk, so it's hard because I'm here 9 hours a day, roughly.
Wow.
So 9 hours plus sometimes, depending on what's going on. So I mean, it's hard
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
move
Sounds like
it
it.
in.
So before you obviously jumped into the program, what exactly were you kind of struggling with? And if you can kind of explain, maybe in like 3 words, where were you and what were you sort of feeling prior to joining the program?
I don't even know if I need 3 words, but stuck, I guess. Um, like I would go to the gym some days after work if I felt like it, right? Like I would be, oh, I'm tired, or I just don't feel like it today, and then you get into the repetition of just not going and not making good food choices, right? Like we have a cafeteria on site, so I just go grab something there, and it's not always like super nutritional, like or ordering takeout or something, and just not sticking to a well-rounded diet essentially, and then not going to the gym enough. It's
Mhm.
just making excuses basically. It
Yeah,
was what I was doing. Oh, well, I deserve this. I worked hard this week, but it's not. It's
right.
not a good set to have. So,
Definitely. And so like when it came to the program, how did it sort of develop or rewire your brain to sort of be in a place to actually take a hold of those certain decisions or, the ability or time to actually go and exercise or go to the gym? Like how did that sort of, change your mindset and, what was kind of going through your brain whenever you started to implement these things on a more consistent basis?
right, it was hard at first, and I mean, like I liked going to the gym before, and I just stopped making excuses. Like essentially, I was like, I need to take care of myself and treat myself how I would treat someone else, or support myself how I would support anyone else that is struggling with this, right? So just trying to see it in a different light, and this is something I really wanted to do, like get in shape, but also just feel better in general. Um, and the only way I could get to that was going through that. One of the biggest things that I changed was the time that I worked out. Working
Mhm.
out after work was not doing it for me.
Yeah.
But also waking up in the morning was the scariest thing to me because I'm not a morning person. but I actually really enjoy the gym in the morning now. It really pushed me because, gosh, the gym was packed at
Mhm.
5 or 6 p.m. Gym bros texting and taking up machines and talking, and I'm like, I need you out of the way.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
but I just couldn't deal with it anymore, and so I woke up. I was like, I'm gonna try to wake up at 4:30, just one morning. Let's see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Just one try, and if I can't, we'll go back to the evenings, and I'll just have to deal with it.
Right.
And did it. I loved it. I know my gym crowd now, like everyone that's there. I love like we. It's just it's a good flow, and it's almost like it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Even though you wake up early, you have so much more energy from working out. It's like my day hasn't even started and I've already gone to the gym, and then I have time to do stuff after work or walk my dog, and I feel better during the day. Like that has been one of the biggest changes is morning workouts. I didn't never thought I would be a morning workout person, but here I am. Even on Saturday mornings now, I'm up at waiting for the gym to open at 7. Like I don't know who I am, but
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I always, and this is a constant conversation I have with people when they're, looking to find the time to exercise. I'm like, you've got two times essentially, before work and after work. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be better to go before. And I always, urge people to give that a try first, because just like you're talking about, you have energy for the rest of the day. After you're done with work, you just go home. So you are
right,
literally in the same sort of routine, that you would normally do, prior to like actually going and exercising, right? You're going home, you're relaxing, you're taking care of what you need to take care of during the day, and you've got the whole evening to do whatever you want, right? It's like it's just that little nudge to kind of wake up maybe 30 minutes early and then maybe 45 minutes earlier, maybe 60 minutes earlier, and you implement that time and slowly sort of build it up. And yeah, I think just implementing that in the morning is a tough choice, but it's a big, it makes a lot of difference. It's a big choice. And if you're able to really make that big choice the first thing in the morning and you do something right as well, like it also kind of sets up your day in a positive sort of fashion because you've implemented something that's very positive towards you as well. So I always recommend just like, man, it just sets up the rest of the day. Your outlook on the day, your mindset, the energy, the approach to everything you do, your work, it's just something positive that starts the day. And I think people just don't, you know, they're kind of stuck in the routine a little bit, right? I don't know if this is something that you've experienced, but a lot of people are stuck in the routine where they go to bed late and they don't really get good sleep. So they're like, man, I'm tired in the morning. Why would I wake up and work out in the morning? But like your habits aren't fully formed in the sense that like you've implemented something that's consistent and like healthy for you, right? Like you're exercising daily. And of course, like once you implement it enough, it's like, okay, well, now I'm experience everything. Now I'm kind of getting sleepy around 8:30 or 9, and I can wake up early and I feel refreshed to exercise. And so it kind of takes a little bit of time. Would you agree with that?
yeah, I would say so. Like it was hard to go to bed early. Like I'm already kind of what I call an old lady anyway. I don't like to stay up too late. Like I would usually go to bed around 10,
Yeah.
but I was like trying to get in bed by like 8, 8:30, 9 was pretty hard. I started implementing schedules on my phone to help
Mhm.
with that. And now and
Definitely.
I turn off all my notifications. I have the sleep mode on or whatever. And that's helped a lot because now I don't get distracted by like incoming notifications and stuff. And
Right.
all my
Good
friends
idea.
think I'm late now because I'm like in bed by 8:30, but I'm like, nope, we can't hang
Perfect.
out during the week. I gotta work out. Like, if y'all want to do it, it has to be before like 7:30.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. I love that. That's great. Yeah. I think, it's just going to kind of put you in that routine, no matter what. So I'm glad. So when it
Yeah.
came to the program and what it taught you, like, what do you feel was just sort of the biggest needle mover when it came to the program? What was the ultimate change that has led to your success?
Like, I mean, getting in consistent workouts. The fact that they're already there, uploaded, ready to go. I'm like, okay, I know what I have to do today, right? But not just that, and like making time for that, but also just having the accountability there with everyone.
Mm.
Like knowing I'm not the only one that's struggling every day to wake up and go to the gym. Um, it's nice, and
Yeah.
That really helped me a lot. Just the check-ins and knowing that there was people there to supporting me, right? That made a big difference.
Good. Yeah. I always love just the community aspect of things, and especially when you're so involved in such a transformational part of your life. Like going through that alone is difficult. And I think that was one of the first things that we really wanted to implement was just community, right? Having a support system, not just the coaching aspect and the check-ins, but also just the backbone of a community that is, of course, very supportive and, on the same track as well, right? Like if we didn't include that, I feel like a lot of people would kind of get, what's the word? Just not as confident, or, not as motivated to want to kind of continue, right? It's like sometimes you just need that support system. You're understanding other people are kind of experiencing some things. And of course, it's difficult and it's hard, right? And everyone else can kind of see everyone else doing workouts is, included. So I think that's just very, very helpful for just that extra support for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
it.
and I didn't want to have to say I didn't do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Hear you.
having to train every day. I was like, nope, nope. I'm one that didn't like to let anyone down or like not do something that I'm supposed to do. So
Mhm.
that helped me a lot too. If
So would you say just like that accountability and of course like keeping like a coach happy is helpful towards just you staying consistent?
Yeah, for sure. Just like knowing that I not only myself but other people like like I have these goals but other people also want me to achieve the success, right? So I don't want to let myself down. I don't want all these essentially all these people down that are cheering me on, right? So
100%.
get in there and make sure I check everything off every day and do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit. So I feel like you've got the workouts down, you really were able to capitalize on staying consistent with that, took the recommendation of waking up early and getting the workouts done earlier. And of course, that's been really helpful towards, your overall success. Now, I want to kind of talk about just overall nutrition. Like
Mm.
you work all day at a desk, you're, 9 hours, plus, right? And, how did the program kind of teach you what sort of foods you should be eating? And, how did that kind of contribute to such quick success for you?
Um, so I guess I used to think like like my mom was had gestational diabetes with me. I was pre-diabetic for a little bit, like so that's scary, right? So I always thought like no carbs, right? But I've
Yeah,
learned to implement like complex carbs. Love sweet potatoes now. They're one of my best friends. And just how to stay full throughout the day. Like your high protein snack recommendations have saved my life. Like
they're amazing.
saved saved my life. Like I just had my Quest crackers. Like they have the cheese crackers that are really good.
I love those.
Kodiak cakes have saved my life. Just like they have the protein cookies. Like things that keep me full that I really like. It's a way to have a treat without having a treat.
Yeah, definitely.
It really helps the mental. And there's some days where I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, dang, I still have some left over. Well, and yogurt. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I already was a big yogurt girl, but I have so much yogurt in my fridge because it's great breakfast, it's great snack. Like plain Greek yogurt is a great like mayonnaise replacement and like tuna salad or something like that. So that's been super helpful. So one of the
awesome.
biggest game changers of this whole thing, and also meal prepping the night before, like just cook something for dinner and have it for lunch the next day. I used to try to do it all on Sunday, and that was a big killer for me. It's something I like dreaded doing and thought it was a big hassle, and I didn't want to do it. And so now I'm just like, oh, you only have to cook for 20 minutes to have tonight and tomorrow. So that's helped a lot too.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah, those protein recommendations took a long time to sift through, I will say. Like there's so many different options out there, which is like why one of the main reasons I like to just give it out for free to people because it's kind of a trust factor, right? It's like, okay, well, first thing it's like there's so many different options of like protein, snacks and, whatever treats. And of course, like if I'm able to show people like, oh man, I've gone through the kind of the gauntlet and like went through the different tastings of each of those snacks and, of course, found the ones that were great and it's helpful. I think that's such a huge factor, and of course, like nowadays they figured out how to like make those taste, really good. And of course,
Yeah, there's quite a few, and I've even just went off the trail and sampled some of my own, like the Quest peanut butter cookie. If anyone likes peanut butter cookies, that is a killer. Like
there
it's
you
so
go.
good.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There's also like I tried the Special K protein cereal. That one's pretty good. That's
Okay.
newer. It's a cinnamon protein cereal. Sometimes I just like to take a few grams of it and put it in my yogurt. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I'm a crazy scale girl now. I take my scale. I'm like, if I don't have my scale, I freak out. I'm like, where's my scale?
We'll talk about that a little bit. So you bring your scale with you. So prior to obviously the program, were you bringing your scale with you?
Definitely not. I wasn't like worried about it. I'm like, oh, I can eyeball it, but this I didn't. I did some tests, like with measuring cups versus the grams on the scale, and measuring cups are usually way over the gram recommendation,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yep.
dang,
That's a
okay.
big one.
So there were some big awakenings for me on some of that. So I love my grams on my scale, and if I don't have it, I'm like,
Yeah, definitely. It makes you a little OCD, but I kind of want you to harp on that a little bit more. So like, prior to obviously, joining the program, you weren't bringing your scale with you, obviously, but now that you're kind of implementing these changes, right? You're making these sacrifices with the meals, how does it feel to actually make those changes? Do you feel like it's a big struggle for you? Do you feel like it's been kind of relatively easy to implement? Like, what's been your approach just overall with your mindset, changing those sorts of things?
in the beginning, it was super difficult, I would say, for me. I've been a big overeater my whole life, and I find it hard to say no to things. So it was hard in the beginning, but I've not. This is not the first time I've counted calories, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like I said, the protein snack recommendations really did help me get through some of those hard days. And I was just really dedicated, and I would sit there and drink water, and I'm like, okay, like you can do it, you can make it through. And now it's become easier. Like once you get into that habit and those routines and you're used to that calorie intake, it gets much easier to do. And I've also found ways to implement like that 20% of fun,
Yeah.
the fried chicken nuggets at Chick-fil-A every now and then,
There you go.
with a side salad instead of like French fries. I don't eat French fries anymore. They're too caloric.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day I will, but I've just been like, I'd rather have the fried chicken over the French fries. So,
Yeah.
and I've gone to like Golden Chick, and like you can still get the things you want. They turned out the lights on me.
That's all
Um,
right. You're good.
get the things you want as like during the day, without like like some of it would you just have to count it, weigh it. Like I weigh my chicken strips when I get them. I get them to my apartment and I put them on the scale and I look up a serving and like so that's it sounds crazy, but I personally find peace and serenity in it. I know not
Yeah,
everyone does, but knowing exactly what's going in gives some peace of mind and that you're
definitely.
still getting something you really wanted to have. So,
Definitely. I think it's also important to note like everyone is so different, right?
yeah.
Which is why when it comes to the program, it's not just like a set thing, like you do X, Y, and Z, you get X, Y, and Z results, right? It's more so about because there are plenty of clients that I have that do not count and you don't need to, right? While at the same time, there's some that do. And I think something that we really wanted to focus on with the program overall was just finding out what works best for Allison, right? You have now navigated your, sort of trials and tribulations and tried to figure out, what works best for me. What do I need to do? How do I keep this going? And how does this sort of fit within my schedule? Right. And I think that's exactly what the program is based upon. It's based about finding out what you do best to see results, right?
Right.
And so everyone's going to be different. I think that's something that super duper important to focus on. There isn't a one size fits all program. It's, it fits towards you and what you do and what works best for you and what you like, right? And that's the difference that this sort of program makes as opposed to other ones, because a lot of them are just one size fits all. You get X, Y, and Z meals, X, Y, and Z foods. And I want you to focus on figuring out, okay, what does it do that I like? You kind of have to experiment a little bit, implement some things throughout the day. Oh, I just realized this works a little bit better than maybe doing this. I've realized that I need to weigh out my food, and I have a little bit of peace and serenity weighing out my food as opposed to just not doing that, right? And you've been able to implement it seamlessly throughout your routine. And I think, you're seeing great results from it, which is fantastic. So
Yeah.
now that you've seen these results, what ultimately keeps you going? Like, what makes you just want to continue to see results after actually seeing the results that you've had so far?
I want to see more, I guess, and
Yeah.
I have all this energy, and even though sometimes get less sleep and
Mhm.
or feel like the gym just gives me energy, it cuts my stress. Um, Sometimes I dread going, but like I still get up and go because I know how good I feel after,
Mhm.
like, and what it does for me. And I've learned to appreciate what, like, I'm lucky to be able to do some of the things I'm doing, right? Like my body can do this, and that's really exciting. And I need to appreciate that and work for that and make sure that it can do this stuff for a really long time. And the only way I'm going to do that is, um, staying healthy.
Yeah.
So that's been a lot of my driving, and I just like now I want to be like a one of those ripped girls in the gym. I'm going for
Yeah.
all the heavy weights. I'm like I get upset if I can't like lift something, or if it's like sometimes you have those weekdays, where it just won't go up like you want it to, and you're like, so yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I've invested in like the like a the barbell pads and like ankle clips and wrist straps and different things that
Yeah.
kind of like are fun to use and like make you excited to go in, or at least me. Like I've always kind of enjoyed the gym, but I didn't think I could enjoy it as much as I have.
Mhm.
And even like days where I get to choose my cardio. I've chosen the stair stepper, which is crazy because I never even got on it before. I was too scared of it, and now I'm like, no, I'm gonna kick its butt today. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. So,
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And like, as opposed to where you were at, prior to starting, I think, you know, would you consider it to, I know, well, you mentioned that it's, you had enjoyed the gym previously, but would you feel like it's kind of like a little bit of a 180 just from where you were at prior, just scared of everything, not doing a whole much, like,
uh,
just all routine,
well,
everything.
right, like I had a safe space at the gym before, and this and there was things I would do, but there's things I definitely wouldn't do. And I also don't think I was working hard enough on cardio, and trying new things and implementing new things. And like there is some gym equipment I would never have tried before. Like it's like the bro section, right? Like that's
Yeah.
all the gym guys. I'm not going over there.
Yeah.
And now I just walk up like this is my section.
That's
Get out.
awesome. That's a huge thing too. It really is a big thing because like, gym intimidation, right? Like intimidating part of going to the gym, it's tough, and everyone experiences that. And I think just the confidence level, like, of course, like whenever we're programming everything, it's getting you to try those things. But now you have the information in front of you. You know exactly what you should be doing and like how to do it step by step. And I think it's important to note that like prior to what you've done previously, like that was not the section you go to. And it's, time to start kind of changing the narrative a bit, like we need more
Yeah.
women in the gym. We need more women doing more of these exercises because they work. They work, they really help out a lot. I mean, there isn't a
Yeah.
man's section and there isn't a women's section, right? It's like the gym's for everybody. It should be a space where everyone can be, confident and doing things in a place where they're not intimidated to go and pick up some dumbbells or do the machines or whatever it might be, right? That's incredible. That's incredible because yeah,
Yeah, I really liked it. And I used to be scared, and now it's probably some of my favorite parts are those parts. And then
love it.
I've actually gotten some gym friends, some gym bros that will, like, if I have a question, they're like, "Oh no, like this is how you use it, or this is this machine." I'm like, oh, "Okay," because
Love it.
couldn't find it the first time, and I was like, "I don't know what this is."
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It happens.
friends there too that are will help you or spot you, which is really cool to have
That's awesome.
that support there too. So
That's awesome. Love it. So what's next for you? I want to kind of hear like what do you envision yourself doing from this point forward and like what's the next step for you? Like what are the next goals for you?
I don't want to stop. I'm probably going to keep up the same routine. I want to lose, probably another 20 pounds at least. I want to see how cut I can get.
Awesome.
Oh, what do they call them? Muscle mommies now, even though I'm not a
Awesome.
mom.
That's
But I mean,
awesome.
I was a little in shape in high school, but I want to see, like, I've never really been like that girl, and I want to see how far I can get, and because I never thought I could,
Definitely.
but I feel like I definitely can now.
Love it. Well, Allison, thank you so much. I appreciate you again taking the time to tell a little bit about your background and your story. Yeah, we're already wrapping up in time, so I obviously don't want to keep everyone and of course keep you. But again, just want to say thank you so much for jumping on, and it's incredible what you've been able to accomplish in such a short period of time. And I know
Thank
that a lot
you.
of people can be very inspired by that. I know that you were inspired by, another person's transformation, Alyssa's transformation, of course, her story. And it's, just wanted to trickle down, other people are going to see this and watch these sort of videos and, relate to the fact that, you were struggling beforehand, you had these goals in mind and you took action, you have invested in yourself, and that's not an easy thing to do. And you've done it and you're going to continue to do it. And again, it's just like that. All right, what's next? And it's incredible. It's incredible. So again, thank you so much, Allison.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I couldn't
Yeah,
have done it without you.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Alrighty. Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. Again, Allison, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.